Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 18th of February, comes to you from London. And a bit of a mixed picture on the screen this morning, mixed colours, and no real standouts, but we'll just go through the charts all the same. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. So the dollar is above the cloud, which means short-term it's bullish, but medium and long-term we are bearish. The euro is sitting above the 120 level, so it has turned bearish on that stronger dollar on the short-term chart, but really has found cloud support. Medium and long-term still looking good. Taking a look at sterling, we're sitting above the 139 level. We've actually introduced a new target with this latest thrust in sterling to 146.76, so that's a big potential move, not yet activated. Watch for a pullback and then an activation of that target. That will be key. The euro, we're sitting at 115.30. That's 12-month highs now against the euro for sterling, so that's looking stronger. And we've got a target to 116.86, which has been in place for a while. That's where we're heading. Starting to look like we're breaking these resistance levels, so pound looking strong. Bitcoin, we're sitting at $51,000, so still holding that 50,000 level, and 58 is the short-term target, and $107,000 is the long-term target. The US market was down most of the session yesterday, but did recover to end flat, so that's just showing its relative strength there. Much the same for the Nasdaq. We are seeing the futures down slightly this morning. The S&P E-mini is down 0.2%, and the Nasdaq down 0.4%. So it does suggest the markets will open slightly lower. And the VIX volatility is still sitting in the low 20s. So the fear index showing no fear, if you like. So the market's actually fairly sanguine. The FTSE future is flat this morning. The cash market in Germany is up slightly, up 0.2%. And the CAC 40 is up 0.05%. So still not making new highs there in Paris. Japan was down just 1%. That weaker dollar, that stronger dollar, weaker yen, maybe having an impact there. And the Hang Seng was down 1.5%. So that was quite key. And if we look at China, we're still now pushing higher, having gone through the new year. Chinese markets back open, holding on to bullish on all three time frames. India was down 0.5%, still looking very strong as a market. And if we look at the Aussie market, we were actually flat there, so no big changes. Just with the US weather that we've seen, wheat crops under threat. We are seeing big upside long-term targets for wheat. Quite interesting there that we are bullish on all three time frames. Just looking out for any inflationary pressures we can find at the moment. Gold is looking stronger this morning, but still bearish below the cloud on the short term. Found support around this 1764 level, so that's quite key. We're right on that support level. That's important for us to hold. And silver is down 1/3% this morning. Again, a break of $30 is what's really needed there. Bond yields have pulled back slightly. We were above 1.3 yesterday in the 10-year yield, so they're looking very strong indeed, having just really run up the hill. Starting to break through the long-term cloud on the price, but we've just pulled back to the cloud for the moment. So just a little bit of a pullback, and no big surprises there given the run we've had. And 30-year yields still holding that 2% level, so that's quite key. So that's the German bond. If we look at 30-year yields, still holding that 2% level, so that's quite key as well. Taking a look at the energy mix now. We've got Brent crude powering ahead, sitting at 64.68 this morning. $70 is the target that we're aiming for. We've got targets to 66.40, 67.60, and 69.80. Keep an eye on those 1-minute charts. And if we look at WTI, we're at $61 there as well. So looking stronger there too. US nat gas has broken higher after all the weather news we've seen in the US. We've finally broken out, and has been a really big ramp up this week, and we are back above the daily cloud, looking bullish. We have got a target to 333 and a long-term target to 375, so Gas prices looking pretty strong at the moment. Coal is up 0.4% this morning, but that's not enough to change the bearish tone on this chart. We were bearish on coal for the week. Emissions looking stronger, up 1.1%. So we did have some downside targets. Interesting that this downside target was overrun, but the long-term targets are still very much up for emissions. Gas prices are stronger this morning. We've got NBP up 3%. Not enough really to change that bearish picture and the change in trend that we're seeing this time of year. TTF still below that important €17 mark. So what was support is very much becoming resistance now if we look at TTF. So that is just something to watch. We are still bearish below the cloud despite the fact we're up this morning. We do have some upside targets there, but bearish mode is the rule. We were neutral on power markets for most of this week. We are pretty range bound at the moment. German power has wandered into a downtrend. We've got targets in both directions, so our stance there continues. The only power market that was really bucking that trend was Nordic power, still holding on above the cloud. We do have a couple of downside targets here. It hasn't done much this week, but it is still in bullish mode. But overall, power markets in Europe are neutral. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.